We can't remain entirely faithful to Cobbett's route. Too much of it has been buried under concrete, but enough remains to appreciate his feelings as he rode through places such as Holteye Common, Ashurst and Groombridge. Now this is Groombridge Place, which is a private residence, though fortunately the gardens are open to the public. Now, while I'm sure the gardeners might appreciate some of the organic gifts Cinders leaves in her wake from time to time, I'm sure they'd hate to have her half-ton hoofprints all over their immaculate lawns. So, in the interests of harmony and goodwill to all men, I'm going to get off and explore the gardens on foot. The house has been around since the 17th century and was the inspiration for the Sherlock Holmes potboiler, The Valley of Fear. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle himself regularly visited the place and took part in séances here. Barking mad in his declining years, of course. Today, the building and the gardens are best known as the location for the Peter Greenaway film, The Draftsman's Contract. The formal part of the gardens are everything you'd expect in the grounds of a country house. However, there are some slightly more unconventional bits. In fact, if you go down to the woods today, the latest additions to the garden are for some people uncomfortably unconventional. The man with the organic approach to garden design is Ivan Hicks. How did you wash up here?
Well, I had a friend who was also working here, and she said the owner wants to have something unusual done in the woods. Wink, wink. So that was my cue, if you like.
And those great sort of giants of the past, you know, capability and all those people who we feel had a fantastic reputation for understanding landscape. Is that true?
I think it's largely true, although he also despoiled vast areas of wonderful gardens as well. I mean, he sort of raped England's formal gardens by destroying avenues and formal gardens because of his view of gardening. All nature's a landscape, and let's, rip everything out.
Behind you, you've left this old tree. Lots of people say that's a terrible eyesore, wouldn't they?
Well, lots of people might do. Lots of people would say, what a wonderful piece of nature sculpture.
It's a sort of skeleton, though. Don't you find it a bit depressing?
No, not at all. I mean, it reminds me of nature and the skeleton of a tree. I mean, we can look at a perfect tree. I mean, it's a tree with its clothes off, in another way of seeing it. I mean, wow, look at the limbs on that. It's a fantastic shape.
So you want to leave room for dead trees in your design?
Yes, well, they did that, actually, in the 18th century. They so admired dead trees that people actually moved dead trees into their landscape because they admired the picturesque qualities of it. It's a nutty thing to do in a way, but I can see where they were going. I mean, nothing is natural. I mean, gardening is the most unnatural thing possible, farming even more so. So I see nothing wrong in playing with a landform, and as long as you're not polluting it.
There's a touch of the fairy tale in Ivan's work, not least in the village he's built for the race of mythical woodlanders called Groms.
They're wood folk, and each of these people, you have to imagine, are related to a tree. So the oak people live in oak trees, and they work in oak wood, and they make oak things. And the people who live in the hazel houses are poets, because it's a poet's tree, and they make hurdles. And the willow people are beautiful. The girls wander by the water, and the boys wrote poems about them. So I'm relating tree mythology and tree association and tree names. So it's a very educational thing as well, in our biocultural sense and in a poetic sense.
I love this, Ivan.
Thank you.
Do you add to this? Do you come along and stick new bits in and take other bits away?
Yes, little bits here and there, just tweaking, actually, yes. And nature does the rest.
If you can come to Ivan's pool at the right time of day, and you're in the right mood, then when you leave, you stand a good chance of taking a slice of his tranquility with you, especially if you get to continue your journey on the back of a horse.